Wish you a great year ahead. Today, as we begin 2021, we bring to you another entrepreneur from India, and we'll be speaking on a topic which is very important in today's times. Our speaker for the day is Mr. Yogesh Wadhwani. He is a specialist in hospital infection control. Let me repeat it, hospital infection control. Yogesh has been in this business for a pretty long time. He works with the entire healthcare industry and has worked with many of the leading hospitals in India and across the world, and is definitely an authority in this space. Let us listen more from him. What is hospital infection control all about? And then we'll build the conversation. So, hi Yogesh, thanks for taking time out.
Hi, thank
Tell us
you. Thank
something
you
more
for
about
hosting me.
yourself.
Yeah. So I started my career in 1991, and so initially with some working with some telecommunication companies, I moved on to the medical field, and I've been in this field for the past 28 years now.
Wow.
So initially, I started work with the diagnostics, the medical diagnostics, and gradually moved into the critical care and surgical products. So during my stint in the surgical product line, I actually saw that there were a lot of infections that were emanating from the hospitals, and there was no way of controlling that. And and what I could see was, if there is a it's like a disaster waiting to happen, and if something blows up, then everybody is going to get that. And since it's a confined space, there's very little what you call way to prevent that. So that's what pushed me into uh, getting into this line, because I saw people selling their houses, their jewelry, everything, just to be alive, just for their member of the family to be alive, and not because of their own problem, but something they have contracted from the environment of the hospital. And usually what happens is, in the hospital, when a person dies, most of the time it is cardiac arrest. Eventually it is cardiac arrest, but the underlying reason underlying reason is something else, and that is where we need to focus. And uh, we'll talk about that. Yeah.
This is really interesting. We go to the hospital
Yeah.
to save our lives or save the lives of our loved ones.
Yeah.
And many a times they end up giving up their life because of the hospital itself.
Yeah.
This is actually counterintuitive, and that is why I thought let us speak about this, especially in today's world, when health is a major concern or well-being is a major concern.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us something more about what you've been doing in this space.
So what I actually do is, I provide services services like training to the different departments in the hospital. So, like, there's a separate module of training for the housekeeping staff. There's a separate module for the nurses and technicians. There's separate modules for the non-medico staff, and for the hospital administrators and the doctors. So there are different modules, and those trainings are done depending on the need of the hospital. So if a hospital wants that our people should be trained twice a month or once a month, we we do the whole calculation and accordingly provide those services. So the training is one part of it. The second part is, what we do is the surveillance. So medical surveillance is something which is very prevalent in countries like US, UK, Australia, Canada. But in Asian countries, it is not very prevalent, especially so in India. And so surveillance is basically just like you do any surveillance. This surveillance is we try and we find out the areas in the hospital where there's a scope or there is an outbreak, and we keep on checking uh, by taking samples from that area and see where the infections are high in the hospital, and accordingly we create a whole system to reduce that and prevent it from spreading to other areas. So that is a surveillance. So there's a complete record that we do, there's analysis done on that, and then action on it. And we use
Interesting.
different products. Yeah.
Interesting. So now let us look at it from another angle, from the angle of the patient, from
Yeah.
the angle of the people who are along with the patient. How is it that when we go to the hospital, we can ensure that we don't catch infection? See,
Yeah.
one aspect is the hospital is taking care of itself.
Yeah.
That is what you help them.
Yeah.
The other piece which I'm interested in, how is it that I can take care of myself when I'm going into hospital?
So just want a little clarification on the question you said that. Can you repeat that? Or
Yeah, so
how do you
my
want to
question
clarify?
is, when I walk into a hospital,
Yeah.
one, how do I get to know that the hospital is infected or not? Second,
Mm-hmm.
how can I safeguard myself
Okay.
such that I don't get exposed to that infection? See, as you are saying, many people, they catch infections from the hospital itself.
Yes.
So what is it that we can do to avoid it or to reduce it,
Okay.
if not avoid it?
So I'll tell you what. There are two aspects to it. Now, the interesting aspect is the the control of hospital infection is at a very good advanced stages in countries like US, UK, Germany. So if a person is going to a hospital, visiting a hospital in say country like US, person after the 20th visit will contract an infection from there. Okay, and that speaks volumes about the methodology of controlling it. But whereas in India, is the fifth time when you enter a hospital, you're sure to get a infection. So you see the ratio, the 20 in US and 4 times. So at least 4 times you visit, the fifth time you're sure you're getting it. So that's you can see the, the difference. And now how to ensure that whether we get it or not and how to find that out? Now that is a very difficult proposition. One way what we are now promoting is doing a certification, so that when you enter the hospital, you know that this hospital is certified and on the parameters of infection control. And again, it's a star based thing. So that is one of the things that we are implementing. Now second is how to find that out. Now everything spick and span shining is not sure that it is being it's disinfected. Having a good fragrance is not doesn't mean it is good, is disinfected. So if it's disinfected, your smell itself will be different, because now in lot of these perfumes and all that, there's phthalates, what you call as they are present, and they are harmful for the lungs. Especially in a hospital, it has to be a disinfectant smell. That is one thing which you, the first thing that you enter a hospital. And second of all is that the person who is moving around, the housekeeping person, they actually should be wearing gloves, they should be wearing a complete attire, and they should be disinfecting. It's not just using a colon or some liquid inside. Disinfecting means all the normally used things like handles, door handles, the lift buttons, Now, all these things, commonly touched points, are to be cleaned, and that shows. So these are visible things. But what we are also now bringing into force is an aspect of creating awareness in the hospitals for the patients as well as attendants, so that they know what has to be done, what is not to be done. Simple things like, now if a whole family comes in and one person has to be admitted, now what are the rest of the family members supposed to do? What are the ifs, buts, do's and do nots? So all that, we are creating that awareness. We are tying up with the hospital and creating that awareness. Ki bhai, this is what we will do, and we tell the hospitals, and we create this is a capsule thing, the 3 minutes or 5 minutes, do's and don'ts to prevent infections. Whether they are inside the hospital, it's for their safety as well as for the patient's safety. And even when they go back home, what they should take care of. Because hospital nowadays are totally, it's a confined space. They're with big glass windows, doors, and everywhere it is glass. And if you compare from the olden times, you had high ceilings and good movement of air and sunlight, which is not available now. So the natural aspect is missing. Because that is missing, you need to create a lot of infrastructure, systems, and processes inside to reduce that infection.
All right. So what would be the three things that a person should do when he's going to a hospital so
The
that
most important thing is,
infection is controlled, or he does not bring back infection?
okay, so the personal safety can be that whatever, most important thing is a mask.
Okay.
Most of the virus bacteria you you contract is through the nasal or the
Respiratory
oral
system.
cavity, yeah,
Okay.
respiratory system. So that is one thing. And you should be washing your hands. You should not be
Okay.
using hand sanitizer too often, because they tend to dry your skin and they are harmful also. They'll kill all the good bacteria as well as they'll kill this layer of the cells on the top of the skin. So washing hands is very important, which will take care of 90% of the infections. And balance is there. So mask and washing hands will what I will uh, personally suggest to everybody, nothing else.
And minimal contact, if I would put it right. So try not to
Yeah,
contact.
min
Yeah.
yeah, not to be in touch with a lot of people, and keep a minimum distance of 2.5 feet with whoever you are talking to. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So for how long have you been doing this with the hospitals?
So I've been working with them now for the past 1.5 years now, and
Okay.
and so they're in small pockets, like somebody is wanting only for the ICU, somebody wants for the reception area, like that. So I'm gradually now building it up. So that is a complete method by which the whole hospital uh, works closely with me and with our team, and it becomes a totally infection-free area. Yeah.
Interesting. And what are you doing to spread the word around? Because this seems to be a very, very, very niche kind of an area. And
Mm.
I'm sure most of the hospitals themselves are not really taking much care around this.
Yes. So this is a very I'll say very tricky thing, and I'll say 99% of the hospitals do not want to enter, though they have a system, just to they have a separate infection control department as such, but figurehead is there, a doctor. But eventually what happens is it's just all managed on paper, and unfortunately it's not effective. The implementation is not seriously taken up, and that is the reason why we see a lot of outbreaks happening within the hospitals also. So one interesting thing was that when a person is admitted and when the person goes back home, that means after admission from the ICU, when the
Right.
person is going back home, and if the patient comes back within the next 33 days back to the hospital with a different ailment, that means the person has contracted a infection from the hospital, and we call this infection as hospital acquired infection, HAI. And so if anybody, this is general information, that 33 days, if I'm not having anything, I have not contracted anything from the hospital. But if I am again going back to the hospital with something, that means I have picked it up from the hospital. It's for a patient who was admitted and has come back. And same stands for a person who has visited hospital as a visitor 4 or 5 times and goes back within the next 33 days. Pakka, that it is an infection picked up from the hospital.
I hope this figure increases. This is a very dangerous kind of statistics. All right. So thanks for your time. So before we close, tell us something more about maybe 3 things what people should take care, and after that 3 things what hospitals should take care. I think with that we'll close for the day.
So 3 things that I will suggest for people in their homes or wherever they are, that they should be doing. There's a system that they should be doing a lot of hand washing, and they should be wearing masks if they're moving outside. Though it is not a foolproof system, but still it is a preventive system. And inside the house, as far as possible, cleanliness in a sense, general hand cleanliness is definitely there, but apart from that, cleanliness of things, like you should not be having closed space. You should have sunlight coming in, you should have air movement inside. Even if the patient is the patient is there in the room, you should have movement of air and little bit sunlight coming in. That natural stuff itself will kill a lot of things. Plus, if possible, have an air purifier nowadays, which is necessary in a city like Delhi and a city like Bangalore, Chennai, which is gradually increasing all over the country. It's so that is one thing I will suggest. And for hospitals, there are a lot of things to be suggested, and uh, it is something which the medical fraternity would not like to discuss or talk about. But yes, it is most important thing is training. Everyone has to be trained. Even the doctors feel, since they are from the medical background, they tend to avoid it. But there are a lot of new systems, new processes, new methodologies which are being used, which they need to be aware of. So everybody has to be. Training is the most important aspect for the hospital, and that's what we focus on. And the second aspect is that you do a testing and uh, creating a complete database with a checklist. Now, these 2 things I will suggest: training and checklists, to prevent anything that happens in a hospital.
Sure.
Yeah.
And where can people reach out to you?
They can contact me on my phone number, and my email is there. So my phone number is 9818110368. They can contact me on my phone. They can send me a message on WhatsApp, and then I can get back to them. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
So thanks a lot for your time. And this is really an eye-opening thing, and a time that we took notice of it and took it back into our life. So thanks a lot for all your time, and looking forward to get in touch with you once again.
Sure.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for hosting me. Bye.